Hey everyone, great to have you on board for another installment of the College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode series featuring Coach Carter and his Fordham roster as they'll be reaching the end of Season 3 today. The race for a top 4 seed has all but ended, which we kind of expected. Fordham had no room for error if they wanted to stay in the hunt for a first round bye, but they got rolled by a peaking George Washington team that's just too hot to handle right now. That was in the last episode. However, they did close episode number 30 with a win that seemed to instill a lot of confidence in you guys. This home win against the Dayton Flyers, it left a lot of optimism in the comments section as we took down a top 4 A10 team pretty handedly. The scoreboard shows a 5-point win, but if you watched that game, you would have seen a Fordham team that was in the driver's seat all night long. With 2 games to go, Fordham stands at 7-7, while St. Louis and Duquesne share the 4th spot at 8-6. So I know what you're thinking. Only a game back? 2 games to go? The Rams still have a shot at top 4, right? Well, the math doesn't exactly favor us. St. Louis and Duquesne own the tiebreaker against our Rams, plus there's 4 other teams with 7 losses in the conference, so there's just too much going on here. It's all good though. With a good episode today, our Rams still have the opportunity to score a quality seed and set themselves up for success in the A10 tournament, which, with the way this team performed in year 1 and year 2, I think that's a pretty big win in itself. And with a home game against a weak UMass team on senior night approaching, Fordham has the perfect shot to improve their seeding right here, right now. This is a UMass team that struggled to post points and has failed to hang with the better A10 offenses. However, the 4-10 Minutemen did manage to hand the number 3 team in the nation their second conference loss not too long ago. The Charlotte 49ers dropped their meeting with UMass by 3, so Charlotte's only 2 conference losses this year have been to UMass and your Fordham Rams. Gotta admit, that's pretty interesting and pretty funny. Responsible for about a third of this team's offensive production is 6'11" big Freddie Salazar. He is the guy that Coach Carter has circled in his game plan. Putting up over 18 a game, this Salazar kid is a matchup nightmare for any opposing front court. He's too mobile and versatile for traditional bigs to cover, but he's also way too strong and way too active on the offensive glass for forwards to battle with. However, Salazar is somebody we could exploit on the other end of the floor. He doesn't offer much ability on defense. UMass is an extremely young roster. Salazar and 6'6" wing Namaya Lennon are the only guys with much experience in this rotation. We'll see if Salazar and his squad of fresh faces can play spoiler today as Fordham opens the Rose Hill gym gates one more time here in Season 3. That is correct. It's senior day here in the Bronx as Coach Carter says sayonara to 5 seniors who will be playing in the final home game of their careers, 3 of which that have really helped mold the MO of this program. The red-hot fan favorite Preston Murphy, his swagger and ability to explode on offense will be missed. Evangelo Higgins has battled a lot of adversity in his career to become one of the better wings in the A10. Fabian Swanson is a special success story, a JUCO product who seemed to come out of nowhere to become a vital cog for this team over the years. Corey Terrell improved on every part of his game headed to his senior year to become the perfect backup center, and reserve guard Chris Smith is one of those high character guys every coach needs in their rotation. It's those deeper bench guys that'll push the starters in practice. But the 3 seniors under the microscope tonight it has to be Murphy, Higgins, and Swanson. This is a program that was longing for success when Coach Carter got here, and these 3 young men have been the keys to the rebuild. They're our top 3 scorers on the season, but their impact on the solid Fordham team has gone so much more beyond points. This should be a fun one, guys. We got 5 seniors on Fordham, aiming for a fairy tale ending, trying to come out here with a win, while these Minutemen will try to upset us like they did the Charlotte 49ers not too long ago. If you can beat Charlotte, then you can beat anybody in the conference. So here we go. Who will secure the jump ball to open up episode 31, the season 3 finale? It will be UMass, securing the tip and securing the first points of the contest. Fordham can improve to above 500 once again here in the conference if they come out with a win, as Freddie Salazar is off the mark from 3, but he can hit those from time to time as Kai Hendry opens things up in the open floor, finding our boy Preston Murphy out on the break. Tough layup there, but he's been so good recently, it's not even a surprise to see him finish that one off. We'll get back to that later on though. We got to play some defense here as UMass is letting it up here in the early goings. Already 14 points as Damian DeShields finds Jayshawn Breland for 3. 2 underclassmen getting it done. And that's Breland's second 3 already in the first opening minutes. And it's already UMass's 4th tray ball as a team. 17 points relinquished to this UMass offense that averages around 62 per game, and they're coming off a game where they lost to LaSalle 46-65. So this is a team kind of slumping here, but yet they're lighting us up, and Jayshawn Breland cannot miss. He's got 10 points. The sophomore from Somerville, Massachusetts is on fire, and here he goes off the turnover for 2 more, dunking over walk-on Rondell Dunnington. What has gotten into the Minutemen? They're lighting up this Fordham defense and even creating turnovers as well. 22-11, just like George Washington, where we got down to a double-digit deficit in the first half. Looks like that's beginning again, but don't worry, Higgins has a way to get things going. He wants to live above the rim as well. Anything Breland can do, he can do better, he says. 24-15, 6 minutes to go here in the first half. Not exactly the best start for these senior day for the 5 seniors, but 2 seniors here get it done on this possession. Pitch and catch between Higgins and Murphy. As Murphy, I've been meaning to talk about this, he's on a 6-game streak of at least 17 points. And in that streak, he's had 2 plus 20-point games. So right when we need him most, the senior is tearing it up. Freddie Zalazar, though, is another senior who can light things up in a hurry, but it's only his first field goal of the first half. It's been the other complimentary guys who have been lighting us up. Looks like we've been focusing too much on Salazar, and we're letting these young guns shoot us up. 4 sophomores and 5 freshmen on this Minutemen team. 26-21 as they also have the lead. Good defense here by Higgins, trying to cut off Nehemiah Lennon. And Corey Terrell also helps him out too, so great team defense as Murphy puts on the cross and finishes with the finger roll on top of Nehemiah Lennon. Now Fordham's on a run of their own. They're right back in it. Gotta love the resiliency. You gotta expect at this point that guys like Corey Terrell, Higgins, Murphy, and Swanson won't let this senior day slip away so easily. Every senior dreams of walking out of this gym with a win for their final time. It looks like Fordham is on pace to do that if they keep playing like this, overcoming this slow start, going one-on-one against the zone. Is Swanson, who kicks it out to Dustin Black, as it's the underclassman who takes our first lead on senior day. Dustin Black, way to go. The sophomore Black, our first ever recruit in this series, has really been putting together some good episodes to end his sophomore campaign. UMass retakes the lead with 6 seconds to go. Down by 1 are the Rams, as it's Hendry who wants a screen from Murphy, and off the dribble, Kaya Hendry creates his own shot as the clock hits zeros. Fordham will have the lead headed into the break. Kaya Hendry's become so good at finding his shot off the bounce, and even better at finding that jumper as we hit the end of a shot clock, and that's another example of it. So Fordham overcomes the slow start. They cool off this UMass offense just as quick as they were getting it going, and Jayshawn Breland, who was tearing us up at the beginning of the game, only scored 1 more bucket after that crazy start. He's got 13, but guess who else has 13? Preston Murphy. Like I said, this streak of 17 plus games over his last 6 looks like it's going to continue. He's already got a baker's dozen, and he's got a chance to do something special in his final home game. So your Rams head into the second half with that 6-man meter full. The fans want to see a win just as bad as the seniors do. Let's see if we can start off quick here in the second half and put these guys to bed here early. Murphy one-on-one with Freddie Zalazar, who's pretty mobile for his size, but not mobile enough to keep up with Preston Murphy. The baseline ISO goes. 15 points for the 6'5 senior out of Trent, New Jersey. Almost forcing a steal here, up by 5. Lonnie Evans trying to set up Salazar, but they go in a different direction. Damian DeShields for 3. No good, ripped down by Fabian Swanson, who still hasn't scored yet on the game. But this guy right here has not had a problem scoring at all. Murphy with 18, timeout UMass. This was one of the best moves I've seen in the entire career of Murphy. Look at this. Gets Keytron Parker's shoulders turned in the wrong direction, and the little change of direction gets him all twisted around. An ankle breaking move out on the break. Murphy continues to light it up. He has been superb today. So now the game is kind of in the balance here for these UMass Minutemen. It's now a 7-point Fordham advantage as they get it up to Tanner English, another freshman on this team, but the 6'11 forward gets it to drop. So Here come the Minutemen with an answer as Murphy sets up Higgins with nobody in his path. So Murphy even showing off some vision today as well. Higgins is one of 2 seniors on this team, hometown kids from the Bronx, New York. Fabian Swanson's the other one, as Evangelo has been very efficient today, 9 points on 57% shooting. It's a 6-point game, but just like the Dayton Flyers game, we've been in control all second half long. And now we're going to run an elbow isolation to try to put this game to bed. Murphy, though, stopped in his tracks, so we'll keep it moving. Higgins puts the ball on the deck, kicks around. Murphy will go spot up to end this one. The nail in the coffin, Murphy with 23 on the game. And so the points keep coming for the 6'4" senior out of Patterson. And here is Murphy again, setting up the offense, but we'll go inside this time around, trying to get Terrell some more touches. Another senior as he drops in 2 points. Corey Terrell, a Houston, Texas native, one of the few guys on the roster not from the tri-state area. He is feeling good about his performance as well. Breland, who had that great start to begin the game, has been ice cold ever since, breaking another one. And as the clock winds down a little bit, it's about time I think we get all 5 seniors out on the floor. 8 seconds to go in this possession. Corey Terrell goes high to low to find our boy Pincala, and he will draw the foul after he grabs this board. A huge one ripped down over multiple Minutemen players. And so Coach Carter putting in this lineup that will put all 5 seniors out there for one last time. We're going to have Murphy, we're going to have Chris Smith, Fabian Swanson, Corey Terrell, and Evangelo Higgins as well to close out this game. And you know, the first 4 guys I named, Murphy, Higgins, Swanson, and Terrell, they have all played plenty of minutes in their career, but one guy really hasn't. And that's the guy we're going to try to get a bucket here on this final offensive possession for Fordham. 68-55, this game is pretty much out of reach. And so let's see if we can get Chris Smith a bucket. He's a senior from New York City, 1.4 points per game in his career. He's going to be spotting up the left side. Murphy hands it off to him. Chris Smith for 3. Always got to love trying to get those deeper bench guys who don't really play a bucket here and there, as Jayshawn Breland making himself feel a little bit better about the loss. But, yep, still a fun night, though, here in Fordham, as the clock is about to hit all zeros. Who else other than Preston Murphy will have the ball in his hands as the clock expires? 68-57 is your final, as Murphy controls the rock. He was excellent in his final home game, only a basket away from tying his career high. And a sweet, sweet victory for the Rams, overcoming their slow start. And the best part is seeing these 5 seniors walk out of Rose Hill one last time with smiles on their faces. It's the little things like that that make coaching worth the long nights and the early mornings. This was an awesome one, a lot of fun tonight, as we really let UMass have it. And this is one of those few games on this season where we really beat a team convincingly. We really haven't had a lot of those. There's been a lot of one-score games. We really like to make Coach Carter sweat, but this one came pretty easily, as the seniors all had some fun out there. Swanson was the only one who didn't score, but he did provide a lot of defense and rebounding. So, hey, like I always say, production doesn't always come in the form of scoring. Jayshawn Breland with 18, freshman Keelan Michelle with 14, as Freddie Zalazar only 1 for 5 shooting night, 3 points is a season low. Pretty crazy. And thus, just like we've been doing these last few weeks, every time we win, we are rushing back to the standings page to check out where Fordham is at in the standings as they climb up a little bit with a single game to go. We've lucked out with some teams going cold into the postseason. As you can see, Duquesne has lost 2 in a row. They're going to finish 8-8 on the year in conference play. And the Dayton Flyers, they've dropped to 500 as well after losing 4 straight games to end their year. So getting kind of lucky with some of these other teams not kind of finishing the year all too sharply. And even though a top 4 seed is not in the cards mathematically, we still should be very happy with where we're at. We have a chance at finishing with a conference record above 500, and that would be awesome after how bad the first 2 seasons went, especially against our conference foes. And the only team standing in the way of that milestone is the 25-win Temple Owls, who have become one of the best teams in the country. And this is also, without a doubt, one of the best Temple teams that they've ever had in their program history. There's been 6 times a Temple Owl team has finished a season in the top 25 since March Madness expanded to 64 teams in 1985, and it looks like this year's club is going to make it number 7, and pretty convincingly I might add. This is a very fun team to watch and could easily make some noise in March and bust some brackets. There's 3 A10 teams projected to make the Season 3 tournament field, and Temple is pretty much cemented in there at a 3 seed, joining St. Louis, who projects to be a 7, and Charlotte, who's been a top seed hopeful all year long. The Owls might have the most sound offense in the entire field. In the A10, we've played against some very talented scorers and offensive game plans, but the most that we've seen have had that one bucket getter that's pretty dominant and leads the team in points by a long shot. That's where these Owls differ. Queens native Cardell Johnson would probably average 20 a game on most other teams, but he's only putting up 12 a game on Temple. But that's what sets them apart. With 6 guys who can all light it up, you have to game plan for all 6, and that's the type of stuff that keeps coaches up at nights. Nobody spreads out the attack better than these Temple Owls. We'll see how this week Fordham defense handles the top-ranked Temple Owls, but man, can we get these guys at home for a change? It feels like we've played them in Philly every season so far. Temple already putting up some numbers, 9-4 here in the early goings as they pack it in with their 2-3 zone. That's so tough to beat sometimes. As Preston Murphy beginning this game a little bit slow. That's a 3 he normally makes in his sleep. And check out Cardell Johnson. Double spin move action. The cycle on the break. Preston Murphy couldn't keep up with him. And then he tries to come from behind and play some defense, and that's going to get you called for a foul more often than not. I told you before, Cardell Johnson, the strong 234-pound senior, 12.5 points, 6 rebounds, 1 block. He can do it all. So now back on defense is Fordham, as Eric Sullivan looks like he's trying to jock up a play as Hendry had the steal in his hands, but some rotten luck goes against the leader on the team in steals. Hendry could not turn that into a turnover. And whenever you play a team like Fordham, you're looking for some turnovers forced. They only average 10.5 team giveaways a game, so not only do these guys spread out the attack and not only are they efficient, but they also take care of the basketball. This is a team that does not waste too many possessions. 22-12 there as Fabian Swanson already scores. That's something he didn't do on senior day. He did that one from the free throw line as Corey Terrell trying to set up Evangelo Higgins. Still, the jump shots are not falling for the Fordham Rams. They find themselves down by 10 as Damon Steele will use his wheels to get right past Fabian Swanson and put pressure on the defense. The Owls continue to live in the open court as the backup point guard Damon Steele. That guy is lightning quick, man. You saw him take off? Yeah, this is a team with a lot of athleticism. 29-14, so now the Owls are doubling our offensive output so far in the game, and looks like Fordham does not come into play so far. 5:15 left to go. But can I really say that? This is just such a tough team to hang with as Hendry with a hand in his face. We finally knocked down a 3-ball, or just a jump shot in general. Hendry with our first 3 of the contest to hopefully get things going. Man, what's going on with this Fordham offense? We've had looks, but we've completely cooled off compared to the Dayton Flyer game and our senior day game. As we go inside, there is a nice pass by Kaya Hendry, freshman there. But if there's one weakness that this Temple team has, is their lack of height. They like to go small ball a lot. You'll see them put Cardell Johnson, 6'6" or 6'5", Chance Phelps at the center position a lot. So that's one thing we're going to have to exploit. If they want to go small, we got to punish them inside as Kaya Hendry gets the steal. And there's a nice little swing there for your Fordham Rams, as it's then Corey Terrell for a bucket. So now 37-24, looking a little bit more respectable on the scoreboard as we continue to turn the numbers down a little bit here in the first half. Under 2 to go now. Bounce pass inside, good defense, great closeout by Pinkala, and then Hendry with a huge rebound. So everyone getting it done on that possession as it leads to a run out for Evangelo Higgins to score on top of the smaller defenders out on the open floor. So the Rams still have plenty of work to do before they really get back into this game and make it competitive, but this is a good start. Got it down to 10 and maybe a couple stops so you can think about getting this into single digits, but back-to-back buckets for the Temple Owls. And they also have possession here with only seconds left to go in the first half. Adrian Duffy baseline. Good help as looks like they're going to try to set up one of their shooters. There's Cardell Johnson coming around the baseline as Higgins can't close out in time. 11 points for the 6'6 senior. The Temple Owls not having their own senior day as they try to send off two senior starters happy with a win here at home, and that'll open it up to a 17-point cushion for the Owls. Not good at all. We got to the free throw line a lot. That definitely helped us out here in the first half, but getting out rebounded, we've committed more turnovers, and this team is shooting way too high of a percentage. We know how good this team is offensively, but we gotta try to stop the bleeding. 44 points. We don't have a good enough offense to compete with anybody scoring 44.5. So we're going to begin the second half with bad shot selection from Kaya Hendry. We got to try to go back inside more if they're going to continue to play some small ball. Cardell Johnson putting the ball on the deck. Finds Isaiah Beacham, a 6'10 freshman center who can shoot threes. There's the freshman's first bucket, a Philly-born kid who can stretch defenses out. Let's see if Murphy can answer back, but retaliation is not the answer here. It's yet another missed jumper for this Fordham team as the lead swells to 23. Just not Fordham's day right now. They're getting these open looks, but they just can't knock them down. Higgins drives, kicks. It's Murphy trying to right his wrongs and get things going, and he does. He's been great inside the key, or rather inside the three-point line, but we got to try to get him going from three. 57-39. Now it's turning to be a 20-point game with 9 minutes to go. Hendry finds Swanson top of the key, attacking the zone, bounce pass to Hendry with space, and it rattles in. Now all of a sudden Fordham's starting to feel themselves from downtown, but you gotta hope it's not too late to at least make Temple think about it. 8 minutes to go, 17-point deficit, just one possession at a time. Gotta take things slow. Corey Terrell one-on-one with Isaiah Beacham, who's gotta hit the weight room, as Corey Terrell backs him up deep into the post, scores two easy ones. 6:12 left to go. You see Fordham starting to turn it around. Maybe this is a good way to go into the postseason with some momentum as they get to stop inside. Higgins collects his 6th board. But yeah, how about a good second half here? Probably won't get the win as Dustin Black gives a nice lead pass to Corey Terrell. But yeah, probably won't get the win tonight, but still though, you got to be proud with how this team is starting to close it out. It's not going to be very competitive, but at least we're going to show something as we head into postseason play. Higgins drives baseline, draws a double as Pinkala uses the drop step to free up space for Murphy, and that in turn allows the perimeter to open up on the other side of the floor. Great reversal by Dustin Black, who records an assist as Fordham yet again finds Pater from three. Great team play there, going from one side to the other. And now with a stop and a score, Fordham can chip this thing under 10 points. And that would be the first time this game is under double digits since it was 18-10. Dustin Black gets the steal on Damon Steele. Up ahead, it's Black rising up to the occasion. Big shot Black, as we've been calling the sophomore recently. Our first ever recruit in program, or rather series history, has been lighting things up and coming up big in second halves. Bad shot selection there by the Owls. Higgins for three, it's short, but what a grab by Corey Terrell to give us another possession. 63-54, 4.5 left to go. Higgins wants the ISO on Adam Lasik, and he gets two. And it was all thanks to Corey Terrell staying hard on the glass, going up against these Temple bigs. It's now a 7-point game, and this Temple coach is starting to sweat a bit. 67-59, not out of it yet, but Fordham's got to get going. Bennett Pinkala's got the baseline against Beacham. It's blocked, but Pinkala with good hustle gets it back, and he keeps the possession alive. 6 to shoot. Swanson baseline, hop step move. Murphy with three, fumbles the dribble. Hay has to force it up, and it's again cashed in upon. Fordham's offense can all of a sudden do no wrong as Murphy scores 18 and makes it 7 straight games with 17 plus points. Murphy has now become the 5th leading scorer in the conference at 15.5 points per game. That's how good this kid has been down the stretch. 6-point contest. We're making Temple think about it a little bit, overcoming a 20-point deficit here in the second half. 2:30. It's rotated around. Cardell Johnson tries to find a lane, but the double team comes. Beecham, elbow. Great defense by Bennett Pincala. The Owls have gone ice cold. 2:18 left to go in the ball game. Murphy cross court. Higgins wants it again. He puts it in again. Higgins with another 3. As Fordham can't miss from downtown. What has gotten into this Fordham offense, man? Just really good inside-out stuff, dribble drive penetration, and we are on a 37-23 run here in the second half of action. 4 players on Fordham have 2 trade balls in the game. Temple was known for spreading out their attack. That's exactly what we're doing here in the second half, and that's why we've been so hard to guard. Down by 3, a stop and a score can maybe take the lead and overcome a 20-point second half deficit. 10 to shoot. Cardell Johnson scans, finds Chance Phelps, skip pass back outside. Chance Phelps. Good idea there, but Cardell Johnson leaves it short. We had our cold spell to begin the second half. Now Temple's going through theirs. 1:16 left to go. Coach Carter up on his feet, trying to direct his team to the win. 8 seconds to go. Dustin Black. He's had more minutes than Kai Hendry down the stretch. He's earned them. 2 seconds left. Pick and roll. Pincala has it blocked. Great defensive play by Isaiah Beecham to get a piece of the layup. So that complicates things a little bit. But Temple, it's not been their defense. It's been their offense. Surprisingly, they've been stuck at 67 points for going on 3 minutes now. Will they break the trend? Can they find a basket finally? Chance Phelps, the small ball forward. 48 seconds to go. Blocked by Evangelo Higgins. What a play. Weak side coming over. Near turnover, but Higgins controlling the game. As he crosses over, beats Adrian Duffy to the rim. We're back within a point. Evangelo Higgins with a second half to remember. He's had both of his threes here in the final 15 minutes to go along with a huge block and layup. Now we got to think about who to foul, and it's got to be Chance Phelps. It's a 1-point game, no more shot clock. Chance Phelps has shot 65% from the free throw line on his senior year. We got to send him to the line. This is a Temple team that shoots a very high percentage from the charity stripe, but he's our best shot. This intentional foul by Dustin Black will put them in the bonus. But we got to try to make their point guard, Eric Sullivan, give up the ball. He's the number 4. He's flashing to the rock right now. There it is. The trap comes. Fabian Swanson, Dustin Black trying to give up the ball. Come on, Sullivan, give it up. 15 to go. 1-point game. Taken away by Swanson. He's out on the break. He goes with the teardrop and it's short. Fabian Swanson had a chance to take the lead. But I guess he got scared and overthunk it. I don't know what happened on the break there. Adrian Duffy, a very good free throw shooter, is trying to make it a 3-point game. But Fabian Swanson may have just seen this epic second half comeback slip out of his grasp. We try to advance the ball with 6 seconds left as Coach Carter smartly burns one. And as you can see, Fabian Swanson is completely in shock that he blew that chance. He had the steal, he had the open court, but he just got a little scared there on the break. But we got to be there for our guy. We got to pick him up. That could have been any one of us that blew a layup and hurt our chances, but don't worry, we still have a chance. That's the most important part. We got to pick up our guy. We got to be there for Fabian Swanson after a tough break there. 6 seconds left. We're going to put in our 3-point shooting lineup. Hendry, Black, Murphy, Higgins, and the inbounder will be Higgins as Fabian Swanson slides to the 5. 6 seconds left. What is the game plan? Murphy flashes, but it's going to go to Hendry. Looks like Murphy was just a placebo. It's going to be Hendry for the tie. But it's off the mark. Fordham's epic comeback attempt falls short. 69-66. Maybe some question marks there on the final play. But I wanted to use Murphy as a decoy since I would expect that's who Temple thought it was going to go to. I had him flashing, and then I wanted Hendry to take it because he's been so good off the dribble recently, but he's also been struggling today a little bit, so perhaps not the guy we wanted shooting But Hendry's so good from three, I decided to put the keys into his hands. He's also had a lot of opportunities that he's cashing upon at the end of halves and at the end of games, so why not? Fabian Swanson came up short there. Unfortunately, the senior had the steal on Eric Sullivan, but I guess he just overthought it there on the break as he left the layup short. 69-66 is your final as the 14th ranked Temple Owls survive here on their senior day. That would have been incredible to spoil it for Cardale Johnson and Chance Phelps. So there's bad news and there's good news. The bad news is Fordham fell short of that milestone of finishing above 500 in conference play this year. But the good news is they still got to 8-8, and 8 wins in the conference is what they did in seasons 1 and seasons 2 combined. They had 3 conference wins in season 1 and 5 last year. So I think that's a pretty huge achievement in itself. And it's also something they can play for next year. Trying to finish above 500 in the conference is something that we can shoot for next year, and I'm excited for that already. But now it's conference tournament week, and it's finally time to simulate ahead and check out these brackets. Let's see who we have in round 1. The UMass Minutemen, a senior day rematch as we open things up, and the winner will take on George Washington, who swept us in the regular season. Wow, this is a pretty interesting fall here for Fordham to perhaps make some noise. And I know we went 0-2 against the Colonials in the regular season, but honestly, I was just more worried about playing either Charlotte or Temple. I do not want to see either of those two teams, and this gives us a chance to avoid them in the second round and have probably the most winnable game out of any of the teams who got a first round bye. However, I do find it interesting how the seeding went. Duquesne was also 8-8, and they beat us in the regular season in our only matchup, but somehow they got a lower seed than we did. We finished 10th, or rather 7th in the conference, facing the 10th seed in the first round. I would have thought since they had the tiebreaker, they would have been the 7th seed and we would have fell to 8 or 9, but that's just not how it went. So I'm still trying to figure out how the game does tiebreakers like that. I kind of feel bad because I feel like I gave you guys wrong information as the season went on, but that's just what my assumption was. So all in all, Fordham finishes the regular season of year 3, 18 wins, 10 losses, 8-8 in the conference. Very proud of these guys. And for the second time here in this series, we will be playing some postseason basketball, but we're still aiming for the first time that we have a postseason win under Coach Carter's belt, taking the reins of this Fordham program. So plenty of milestones still to come, still on the table. We'll try to avoid the upset against UMass next time around. It's hard to beat a team twice, even a team like the Minutemen, who we definitely are favored against, but that's what postseason basketball is all about. It's all about adjustments. It's all about being prepared. So hopefully we'll be prepared to go and rock and roll next time we hit the floor. So can't wait for that. Can't wait to try to send Murphy, Higgins, and Swanson, this senior class, out on a high note. We'll try to make a run the next time you meet me here on Coach Carter's College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode series featuring the Fordham Rams. Stay tuned for that, guys. I'll see you guys around.